What does GHK-Cu do? It's a great question because GHK-copper, that's what the Cu stands for, is copper. It's actually touted on many longevity circles. People are excited about this. My sons notice peptides coming up on their TikTok feeds. I have so many questions around GHK-copper. So in this video, what we'll do is construct what it does do, what it doesn't do, why you may be disappointed because a lot of it is hype, but we'll actually dive into the mechanism of GHK-copper and how it can actually help with skin. It can help with vitality when it comes to signaling in the organs and the cells. And then we'll talk about ways that you can amplify the benefits of it as we dive into the literature on GHK-copper. So I'm Regan Archibald, founder of Ageless Future. I make these videos because I believe health is your most valuable asset. And if you can have the correct information, you can find the pathway that works the right way for you. All these peptides we talk about, many of these are research use only. This is not medical advice. If you do want to go deeper with a talented medical team, just go to agelessfuture.com, set up a call with one of our health ascension specialists, and get the information that you're looking for because everything is based on your biology. Even though we're all very similar, GHK-copper may or may not be the right strategy for you. So let's talk about it. Why do people use GHK-copper in the first place? Well, it's used to clean up the skin. It helps with wrinkles, and there's very solid evidence around some of the ways you can use it either topically or in some cases as an injection. One of the most interesting studies that was done about 10 years ago, 2015 or 2014, is done out of Korea, where they put stem cells into the knees of participants with osteoarthritis, and they did a group with GHK-copper. The other group had just saline injected into the stem cells, and they wanted to see, would GHK-copper clean up the signaling so that there was better collagen formation? Because that's one of the reasons why it's such a popular peptide, is because it activates collagen synthesis. It helps with the fibrin matrix of the skin, and it also can help clean up any kind of inflammation and damage in the skin. So rightfully so, they said, well, let's see what it will do when we're using it with regenerative medicine. And the group, what they concluded is the group that actually had GHK injections with the stem cell had a better outcome when it came to regeneration in the knees. So pretty exciting. Now, I'm not telling you to go inject GHK-copper in the knees, but with regenerative medicine, the use of umbilical cord stem cells, we've seen phenomenal improvements. Once again, this needs to be done with proper medical guidance. Our regenerative medicine specialists at our Ageless Future centers can help you know if that's a right treatment for you or not. So let's talk about some of the studies on GHK-copper. This one's titled Regenerative and Protective Actions of the GHK-copper Peptide in the Light of the New Gene Data. This was 2018. And what they wanted to look at is how GHK-copper affects gene expression, collagen and elastin production, wound healing, tissue remodeling in skin and other tissues. And there's several clinical trials, usually 20 to 70 participants in each of these clinical trials. And they looked at using topical GHK-copper creams for dressing, skin aging, or wound repair. It was placebo and control group, and yes, it was peer-reviewed. And what they found is that the GHK-copper, the naturally occurring tripeptide, now a tripeptide is 3 amino acids. So this is a tiny little structure, like 3. How could it be so strong? And when you bind copper to it, that copper brings the GHK right into the DNA. So then it can help clean up that DNA expression, similar to like epitalin, which is a telomerase enzyme that pulls the strings tight on the DNA so you get DNA silencing. That's what GHK-copper is doing specifically when it comes to collagen and elastin production, which as we age, our collagen supplies dwindle dramatically. And many of you have created videos on collagen, so go back and watch some of those previous videos on do collagen peptides actually work? Well, collagen peptides work maybe even better with GHK-copper. So they were using vehicle creams. So they had 2 groups, and they used vehicle creams like vitamin C and retinoic acid on collateral skin sites. And the conclusion was GHK, it does decline with age. They saw a massive decrease. but it also modulates the expression of hundreds of genes that are linked to this extracellular matrix remodeling. So they prove that it increases collagen and elastin production. It also improves the clinical measure of skin structure and repair. And then it supports its role as a subtle optimization for skin rather than some brute force treatment therapy. So GHK copper can be used with multiple therapies. So think of this in three ways. First, think of this as the cellular janitor. It's clearing the noise from the signal. Like I mentioned, GHK copper comes into the DNA, fine-tunes the expression. It's like defragmenting a hard drive, not adding in new software. It's just cleaning up the system so that it can run smoother. This tiny peptide, it helps cells recover and maintain clearer signaling throughout the body. So as part of your overall reset pathway, a lot of times you can use GHK copper with like BPC 157, thymosin beta 4, and that's when you can really tune up the cellular regeneration. The second way you want to look at it is the rebuild mode activated. So instead of just getting the signal and then you're like, okay, now the cells are communicating, what's the outcome? Well, the outcome is you have a better structure, and that's what people notice in the skin. I saw one study where the wrinkles in the skin were reduced by over 28% in the participants who were using GHK copper. Now, the way you know that it's the real GHK copper, we'll look at the dosing, and you want to make sure if you're using a serum, it's going to have a little purple hue to it. And that purple hue is where you know that there's copper in it. Or if you are in a place where you have a prescribing physician using a 503A compounding pharmacy, they prescribe you injectable, and you'll see that it's purple. That's the copper structure in there. So the way that it changes the structure of the skin or the structure of the joints, as in that Korean study that I mentioned, is through that collagen synthesis and the elastin production. And so now you've got this scaffolding so that you can continually regenerate, turning on those genes, those hundreds of genes that regulate your body's own natural collagen expression. The third thing is think of it as just like a stem cell whisperer, something that it's mobilizing stem cells into action so that these subtle signals not only create a better structure and turn on genes so you have better production of the collagen and elastin, but it also creates bigger potential for regeneration. So in the studies, like I mentioned in the Korean study, I think there'll be more research on using GHK copper not only to help turn on genes for collagen and elastin and to help with wrinkles and to help with your skin density, skin softness, skin toughness, but GHK copper is just like this gentle nudge in the right direction. Now here's the danger. GHK copper, it does sting. A lot of times that pH, if it's not buffered correctly, it can sting. If you have already an excess level of copper, maybe from an IUD, that may put you into a storm where your body has too much copper. And so you may not feel good. And so this is where vitamin C becomes really helpful to make sure those levels are adequate, making sure that your gut is fixed, because the skin is a secondary, it's a reflection of the health of your gut. And then make sure you have your detoxification pathways opened up. So if you want to go deeper into GHK copper and learn how you can stack various peptides and work with a professional team who love using the data to guide the treatment modality, all you need to do is go to agelessfuture.com, set up a call with one of our health ascension specialists, and I'll see you on the next video. I'm Regan Archibald.